Welcome back and hello if you are new. So thank you so much for tuning in for another week over on my channel. Masters of the bleak and masters of all that is miserable, the future was more than uncertain for My Dying Bride. Following a string of trials and tribulations that the band faced, from members leaving pretty much unexpectedly to some of the most horrifying circumstances a father could ever find himself in, now re-energized, revitalized, and in their 30th year of being a band together, My Dying Bride are ready to come back to take the Doom throne with their brand new full length, The Ghost of Orion. Wanting to get back to basics, My Dying Bride pretty much created a formula that was very much their most accessible in many years. However, Aaron's vocal performance has always been a classic feature of the band, and his performance on this album is nothing short of spectacular. Somehow, he's able to create a sound of one man which essentially sounds like a Gregorian choir inside a cathedral. Now, this is in part due to his absolutely beautiful range, but also down to the production duties and the idea of double tracking and actually quadruple tracking his vocals.
My fingers blind, I touch the...
However, there is also a Jekyll to Mr. Stainthorpe's Hyde, as harsh vocals are re-implemented into the band's sound, and particularly on Your Broken Shore and The Long Black Land, where this kind of real malevolent energy is put forward. Despite the vocals being able to more than hold their own, it's the way that both vocals and guitar kind of intertwine to create this fantastic atmosphere, and is very strong on The Ghost of Orion. This is similarly echoed on the 10-minute epic that is The Long Black Land, where the dynamic is completely shifted midway through the song and you get this really quite clean and serene sound, but then it has this sort of Herculean victorious feel to it, and it's a real moment of strength, I think, on the record. The track also illustrates the interplay between the drums and guitars, and does shine a light on how actually complex some of the songwriting elements are on this record. Using a broad lexicon, Stainthorpe's vocabulary is sublime, and it allows him to really paint with an air of finesse, and particularly striking those emotional chords. It's a beautiful contrast to have against these really stoic riffs, particularly seen on The Old Earth, which has probably the most teeth-shattering riff of the album and is definitely the heaviest moment. Though without a doubt Tired of Tears is definitely Stainthorpe's most vulnerable kind of performance on this album, directly related to his own personal experience. It addresses the health issues that his daughter had and really does bring you down into that darkness of My Dying Bride with him. This sense of finesse is also seen on instrumental The Solace, which is essentially a very simple acoustic guitar line and then put together with some really interesting female vocals, and it does create a real air of sadness. Violins also add another emotional texture to the band's sound, and on To Outlive the Gods it's perfectly represented, and then you've got cellos which kind of open up the beginning of The Long Black Land. Along with piano and acoustic guitar, which is seen on the title track, The Ghost of Orion, it really does create this sense of grandeur. And even the final track, Your Woven Shore, which is a direct bookend of Your Broken Shore, even ending with the exact same melodies, has an actual choir itself. The only negative I could see really with this record is the fact that some of the riffs may become slightly repetitive. However, the more that I've listened to this record, the more kind of, I guess, under your skin the riffs really get, and it's actually become a real positive for me. But I could see where you know, potentially someone who wasn't that into doom or things like that and maybe would have a hard time trying to kind of keep up with this. And with this album, the entire band sound re-energized, refocused, and ready to make 2020, their 30th year in their career, one of the best to date. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure to check out all my other videos. I've got interviews, heaps of album reviews, and I'll be doing some real cool stuff on the way. I've also got an interview with Aaron Stainthorpe from My Dying Bride, which will be going up next week. So thank you ever so much, and I'll see you guys next week for another album review. Take care.